Hello, all of you. Today we have to discuss what is poetry, what are definition of the poetry, and forms of poetry, and different other aspects of the poetry. So, in reference of this title, very first I would like to tell you the definition of poetry. You must have been listening the name of a great philosopher, Aristotle, who has given the definition of poetry. According to him, poetry is finer and more philosophical than history. For poetry expresses the universal and history only the particular. Besides Aristotle, P.B. Shelley also has defined the poetry. According to P.B. Shelley, poets are the unacknowledged legislator of the world. In the same way, W.B. Yeats also has been defined what is poetry. According to W.B. Yeats, out of the quarrel with others we make rhetoric, out of the quarrel with ourselves we make poetry. Besides him, Robert Frost also has given a very appropriate definition of poetry. According to Robert Frost, poetry is when an emotion has found its thought and the thought has found words. A poem begins in delight and ends in wisdom. That is the poetry. Student, I would like to show you even William Shakespeare, a great dramatist of English literature, has given the definition of poetry. According to William Shakespeare, the poet's eyes in a fine frenzy rolling doth glance from heaven to earth, from earth to heaven, and as imagination bodies forth the forms of things unknown, the poet's pen turns them to shapes, and given airy nothing a local habitation and a name. Student, I would like to show you that very appropriate, very nice, and a complete, I think, definition has been given by William Wordsworth in a simple word. According to him, poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotion recollected in tranquility. This is the definition of William Wordsworth. Besides this definition, another definition has been given by William Wordsworth. That is, listen to me, poetry is the breadth and finer spirit of all knowledge. It is the impassioned expression which is in the countenance of the science. So, these were the different definitions given by Wordsworth, Shelley, W.B. Yeats, T.S. Eliot, and even William Shakespeare. Student, poetry is often considered the oldest form of literature. Before writing was invented, oral stories were commonly put into some sort of poetic form to make them easier to remember and recite. Poetry today is usually written down, but is still sometimes performed. A lot of people think of rhymes and counting syllables and lines when they think of poetry. And some poems certainly follow strict forms, but other types of poetry are so free form that they lack any rhymes or common patterns. There are even kinds of poetry that cross genre line, such as poetry, you can say such as prose poetry. In general, though, a text is a poem when it was some sort of meter or a text, rhythm, and when it focuses on the way the syllables, words, and phrases sounds when put together. Poems are heavy in imagery and metaphor and are often made up of fragments and phrase rather than complete, grammatically correct sentences. And poetry is nearly always written in stanzas and lines, creating a unique look on the page. Poetry, as experienced in the classroom, is usually one of three types. There are the shorter, more modern poems spanning anything from a few lines to a few pages. Often these are collected in books of poems by a single author or by a variety of writers. Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven is one of the most commonly taught poems of this type. Then there are the classical formulaic poems of Shakespeare's time, such as the blank verse and the sonnet. And finally, there are ancient epic poems transcribed from oral stories. These long, complex poems resemble novels such as Homer's Iliad and the Odyssey. I think this is the simple and general information about the definition of poetry and its meaning also. Now, I would like to discuss the forms of poetry. Student, you should know that there is two types. There is general information of poetry. I think I would like to describe it in two types. There is two forms of poetry. First is personal or subjective poetry. The first form is personal or subjective poetry. Second form is objective or impersonal poetry. You can say there is two types of or two forms of poetry: objective poetry and subjective poetry. You can say this in another way: personal poetry and impersonal poetry. Once again, personal or subjective poetry, objective poetry or impersonal poetry. So this is the two kind of poetry. Under personal poetry, we study elegy, ode, sonnet. These are personal poetry. And some other forms also. But in the impersonal poetry, we study ballad, monologue, dramatic monologue, interior monologue, and epic or heroic poem. You can say there are some forms of poetry is included in personal and impersonal poetry also. Once again, I would like to repeat: personal poetry is elegy, ode, and sonnet. But in impersonal or objective poetry, there is ballad, monologue, dramatic monologue, and epic. Now, I would like to discuss what is elegy. Student, under the personal poetry or in field of subjective poetry, elegy is a poem of lament for something serious, sorrowful, fatal injury, separation in love, or departed soul. Elegiac matter is iambic pentameter. It is of two types, personal elegy and pastoral elegy. You should understand that there is two form of poetry, two types of poetry. First is two types of elegy, sorry, not poetry, but elegy. First is personal elegy and second is pastoral elegy. In personal elegy, the poet laments the death of a person in his personal capacity. For example, Tennyson's In Memoriam. On the death, in this poem, the poet laments on the death of his friend, whose name is Arthur Henry Hallam. Walt Whitman also has written an elegy that is entitled O Captain, My Captain. He is expressing or lamenting on the death of Abraham Lincoln. Walt Whitman, you must have been read this poetry in intermediate classes. Second type of poetry is pastoral elegy. Pastoral elegy. Kind of elegy is pastoral elegy. The pastoral elegy is after the model set by the Greek poet Theocritus. In pastoral elegy, the poet assumes himself as a shepherd and weeps the death of another shepherd. The setting is pastoral. Milton's Lycidas, that is on the death of his friend Edward King, that is the pastoral elegy. Shelley's Adonis on the death of Keats, that is also the pastoral elegy. Arnold's Theresis on the death of Arthur Hughes Claw, that is also a pastoral elegy. So these are kind of elegy. So generally you can say elegy is a poem of lament for something serious, sorrowful, fatal, and separation in love departed soul. It is divided into two parts. First is personal elegy and second is pastoral elegy. Personal elegy is lament on personal loss. Pastoral elegy is a lament on the loss of someone else. Okay. So this is the general information about pastoral elegy. I would like to discuss it in detail in another classes. What is the origin of pastoral elegy or what is the origin of personal elegies? These detail would be discussed in the next classes. Today I am giving only brief. What is the brief of elegy or another form of poetry? Second is lyric. Simply I would like to define what is lyric. Lyric is a short poem composed for singing. Ancient Greek lyrics were sung to the accompaniment of a lyre. It had shortness, single theme and intense single emotions. This song is most personal in nature and Sir Thomas Waite introduced lyrics in England. Elizabethan and romantic poets wrote the best lyrics. P.B. Shelley to a Skylark in 1820 is all-time favorite. So that is the lyric. Lyric is sung with the support of lyre. Lyre, this is a kind of a musical instrument and lyre is its wire and with its support one sing a song. So that is called the you can say lyric. Next great kind of poetry is ode. Ode, I would discuss it in detail in another class, but today I am giving you only brief what is ode. Ode is a poem of elaborate metrical structure, Solomon in tone, usually taking the form of an address, very often to some abstractions or quality. Pindaric ode is, there is two types of ode, Pindaric ode and Horatian ode. Pindaric ode is regular ode invented by Greek poet whose name is Pindar. This kind of ode is regular ode and divided into strophe, antistrophe and epode. What is strophe and antistrophe and epode? That would be explained in detail. It was also called choral ode also. You can say Pindaric ode is called the choral ode. Why does it call choral ode? I will explain you what is the meaning of choral. Horatian ode, second type of the ode is Horatian ode. Horatian ode was invented by the Roman poet Horace and published in 23 before Christ. Its structure is very simple. It has no division of strophe, antistrophe and epode. So the English odes written by Shelley and Keats are neither Horatian nor Pindaric. They are called English or regular odes. Now a great form of sonnet poetry, that is called the sonnet. Now you must have been familiar with the this term sonnet. What is sonnet? So now listen to me. In simply very short, I will discuss what is the sonnet in very short. Sonnet is a lyric poem of 14 iambic pentameter lines linked by an intricate rhyme scheme. The term sonnet is derived from the Italian word that is a sonetto, means sound. This form of poetry was created by Giacomo di Lentini, head of the Sicilian school, Italy, under Emperor Frederick II. But the most famous early sonneter was Italian poet Petrarch, known in English as Petrarch, who used it to compose love poems to his beloved Laura. The credit of introducing sonnets in England goes to Sir Thomas Waite and Surrey in the 16th century. There are two major patterns of sonnet, two major patterns of rhyme that is used in the sonnet. The Italian or Petrarchan sonnet is divided into two main parts. First is octava, and octava has rhyming scheme is A B B A, A B B A, followed by sestet with 6 lines having C D E, C D E, or some variants such as C D C, C D C. Thomas Waite followed Petrarch form of the sonnet. English sonnet falls into 3 quatrain and including couplet A B, C D, E F, and last is G. It was introduced by Earl of Surrey, a contemporary poet of Thomas Waite. Shakespeare used it and made so famous that it is so called Shakespearean sonnet form. There was also a third variety adopted by Elizabethan poet Spenser, in which he linked each quatrain to the next by a continuing rhyming, that is the A B, BC, CD, and EE. So these are the general information what is sonnet. So student, I think you must have been listening the simple information about the definition of poetry, about the meaning of poetry, and about the two forms of poetry like personal and impersonal. And I have given you brief of personal poetry. And after that, I will explain the objective poetry, or you can say the impersonal poetry, and detail of personal poetry also, because okay, now see you the day after now. Have a nice day.